Hi, this is Bhartiya, and we are here at CloudNativeCon and Kubecon in Barcelona, Spain. And today we have with us Phil Straw. You are CTO and co-founder of SoftIron. So first of all, welcome.
Thanks a lot.
So can you tell us a bit about what is SoftIron all about?
SoftIron is really about taking a systems approach to Ceph. So Ceph is a piece of software and an open source software storage standard. But typically how customers have consumed storage in the past is not a piece of software, not a piece of hardware, but they want to consume storage, not even a combination of the two. And so if you look at the traditional storage world and this tidal movement to open source, which is a good thing, there in the middle is a place for someone to package the whole thing as a product with a capital P. And that's really what SoftIron does from cradle to grave. So from, understanding what a customer's true needs are as opposed to fitting them to a product, delivering something that has the ability to fit the application today and tomorrow and scale out, which is what Ceph does just better than anything. And then hold, the customer's hand and give them support through the whole system, not just software or not just hardware. And so in many ways we represent, I think, having a sense of humor about it, one throat to choke, throughout the life cycle of someone consuming SoftIron products.
Why and when you came up with the idea of building something around Ceph, what problem you saw back then that you wanted to solve?
So we founded, myself and Norman Fraser founded SoftIron in 2012. And around that time, it's becoming obvious that there were a number of open source software standards. We developed technology that was pertinent to making a great storage product. And, we quickly established that, in our belief that Ceph is going to become the Linux of storage, and that in order to have storage packaged in a way that is both traditionally how people consume storage as well as for the best possible experience, we needed a systems approach of both system, including hardware and software, and then integration and support on top. And that's just been our focus ever since.
And how has been the evolution of the product vis-a-vis the evolution that you have seen? Because some of this technology like Kubernetes did not even exist 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there are different approaches to storage, and some focus on particular things and some focus on being more of a Swiss Army knife. And very fortunately, I think by design for Ceph, it is very much a Swiss Army knife of storage. And so it tends to fit in lots of different places. And when it fits, it tends to fit in many different ways. And so that's really our focus is making Ceph do that well and packaging it so it's a good fit for different applications.
When you look at Kubernetes, where do you see, because Kubernetes is a totally different beast than, when you talk about other, environments. So what role does, SoftIron play in solving the storage problem for Kubernetes environment?
I think the thing that we do differently is that we package Kubernetes so that we have it turnkey for Kubernetes. So we can package Ceph in a way using a storage router product that allows us to not only serve Kubernetes, but serve the payload of Kubernetes. So one of the things I mentioned earlier is Ceph is very much the Swiss Army knife of storage. So certainly being a persistent data store for pods and various different things in Kubernetes, we can serve the application therein with everything from block, object, and file access to storage.
What I'm really curious about, what unique challenges or opportunities Kubernetes creates for SoftIron, where you look at this, all the Kubernetes work a little differently than other environments?
I think the opportunity for SoftIron and Ceph is that the one property it has that I think is somewhat unique is that it scales wonderfully. So all of the properties of Ceph and storage scale with it. So as you scale Ceph, and the whole reason for Kubernetes at some point is probably scale for a lot of people. When you lean on storage to scale, things like reliability and performance scale almost linearly with Ceph. And so that's something of a unique property. And when you set out to concentrate on application and you use Kubernetes as infrastructure, when you scale it, you need storage to be able to do that behind you. And what you don't want to do is a forklift replacement at some point in the future. So you almost have an inbuilt guarantee with Ceph and SoftIron that not only is it packaged turnkey for Kubernetes, but you're never going to run out of legs in terms of scale.
And what are your typical customers in the Kubernetes environment?
I mean, it varies for us. I think Kubernetes means a lot of things for a lot of people. And if you look at what Kubernetes is being used for, it's really hard to tie it down to a particular workload. And for us, we're in the business of providing Kubernetes storage. Being the Swiss Army knife, being flexible, having all of the different kinds of mechanisms inside Ceph, we're just not hobbled by any particular kind of workload, so we can serve all comers.
We are at Kubecon, so did you make any announcements here?
Not here, but we were at CloudNativeCon in the last few days. We made a big announcement that we're going to start to do Ceph acceleration in silicon. We're starting with erasure encoding, which really is a way of doing data protection that is very efficient on storage footprint. So for people sensitive to economics or people at massive scale that need a lot of persistent data, that's kind of a seismic announcement. It really changes the economics of Ceph.
So what are the unique challenges that you see, you still feel that these are the problems that you still have to solve or the Ceph community has to solve?
I think that Ceph is still fairly young. It's quickly, I think Ceph is becoming the Linux of storage. I think it has a long way to go, but it's probably the most active community in open source storage. There's been a real focus on usability, particularly for us. We've built a whole management system that allows you to manage the creation of a Ceph cluster, the management of Ceph cluster, deal with exception events. And that's been kind of, I think, a missing component in Ceph. It's been very much command line driven, very much the administrator's favorite. But we're kind of humanizing it with various different tools around Ceph management.
What does your roadmap look like, for the next release or next version? That okay, this is what we're going to focus on next.
Yeah, I think SoftIron's had some incredible product results, and I think part of why we've done that is we've often taken the path less traveled. And we've done some things that are slightly off-grid and contrarian. So we've leveraged a lot of different technologies along the way to get really, really amazing results. And we're just going to continue to do that. So doing more and more radical things, hardware acceleration, doing multiprocessor architectures, trying to get various different properties from performance to density, usability, quality. We're sort of obsessed by performance metrics on every level. So, we continue to listen to customers, continue to be a little bit off grid, and not scared to get dirty.
So you created SoftIron, so I'm sure you're fairly busy, but if you ever get free time, what do you do in your free time?
Well, I have this distant memory of being an active scuba diver, and I miss the underwater world, the silence, and I'd like to get back to that.
So, do you have any plans? Do you have any roadmap? Just like SoftIron, you have very strict roadmap for SoftIron. Do you have any roadmap for your scuba diving?
Yeah, the wrecks of Scapa Flow, the reefs of Belize, and the Red Sea in the Middle East. That would be a good roadmap for me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Phil, for talking to you today, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks a lot.